Hey, what's going on there, YouTubers? You like the Bucks of Jericho? Or is it Y2 Jackson? Anyway, this is Brian Vaughn, the CEO and the owner of the WSC Lounge. And I'm telling you, don't touch that dial, and be sure and check out the Jammin' Music Man as he styles and profiles on his YouTube channel. Woo! Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below.
What's up, guys? It's me, Jammin' Music Man, and welcome to my all-new unboxing video, or as I call them, Unbangings. And of course, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Gladys. How are you, Gladys? She loves kissing me. But you guys got a package in the mail today, and before I open up this package, I'll just let you guys in on a little clue. It's from my good friend, the Kayfabe Cover Kingdom, and I've got a lot of stuff from him in the mail in previous Unbanging videos. And the Kayfabe Cover Kingdom, he specializes in, you know, doing DVD artwork for classic wrestling pay-per-views. I'll put a link in the description box below to his Instagram channel. Go check him out and see what he's got that you might be interested in. But enough of the talk. Let's get this Unbanging video started. So let's open up this package and I'll show you guys what I got. Oh man, let's see. This first little set I got right here. Just taking off the rubber bands. Alright, you guys, these first 3 DVDs right here. This first one, it's Clash of the Champions 7, Guts and Glory. This is from June 1989, the main event. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat takes on Terry Funk. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, basically during this time, he was getting revenge for what Terry Funk did to Ric Flair after what happened at Wrestle War 89. If you don't remember, Flair had beat Steamboat for the NWA title at Wrestle War 89. Terry Funk attacked Flair, and he pile drive Flair through the table, which started their whole feud. And I love the Terry Funk Ric Flair feud from 1989, one of my all-time favorite feuds. And NWA WCW in 1989, one of my all-time favorite years in professional wrestling. But also on this Clash of Champions, you get the Fabulous Freebirds taking on the Midnight Express. This was in the WCW World Tag Team Finals. I believe the titles were held up during this time. Also, you get Sting, who's the television champion, taking on Wild Bill Irwin. Other matches you get on here: Terry Bam Bam Gordy taking on Dr. Death Steve Williams. Also, you get, this is a good one, the Ding Dongs take on Cougar J and George South. That's right, there was a tag team called the Ding Dongs. Looking forward to watching this one. Clash of Champions 7, Guts and Glory from June 1989. One of my favorite years in wrestling. This next one right here, it's Clash of the Champions 12 Fall Brawl 1990 Mountain Madness. The main event for this one, this is when Sting was the WCW World Champion, taking on the mysterious Black Scorpion, who I believe on this Clash of the Champions, it was Al Perez portraying the Black Scorpion. But, you know, later on at Starrcade 90, that's when we found out that the Black Scorpion was Ric Flair. But on this Clash, it was actually Al Perez portraying the Black Scorpion. Also on this card, you get United States Champion Lex Luger taking on the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Also, we get Tom Zink, the Z-Man, taking on Stan the Lariat Hansen, one of my all-time favorites. The Steiner Brothers, who are the United States Tag Team Champions, taking on Maximum Overdrive. one of those long lost forgotten tag teams. Let's see what else we got on here. We get the Nasty Boys taking on Terry Taylor and Jackie Fulton. The Master Blasters taking on the Lightning Express. The Young Pistols taking on the Fabulous Freebirds. Looking forward to checking out Clash of the Champions 12. Fall Brawl 1990. And this next one right here is Clash of the Champions 3. Fall Brawl 88, the main event for this one. It's Barry Windham, who was the U.S. champion, taking on Sting. And of course, during this time, the Four Horsemen were running wild. One of my favorite versions of the Four Horsemen during this time, which was Flair, Windham, Tully, and Arn. And I know not too long after this, Tully and Arn would head towards the WWF to become the Brainbusters. Or they might have already been in the WWF by this time. Also on this Clash, you get a Russian chain match. Ricky Morton taking on Ivan Koloff. Also, we get the American Dream Dusty Rhodes taking on Kevin Sullivan. The Sheep Herders also would later become the Bushwhackers, teaming up, or they're actually taking on Dr. Death Steve Williams and the Russian Nightmare Nikita Koloff. Looking forward to checking out Clash of the Champions 3. Alright, you guys, these next set of DVDs, this first one right here, it's from January 1991. It's Clash of the Champions 15, Dixie Dynamite. This was the Clash of Champions that was going to air live at the CNN Center, but the Gulf War was going on during this time, so they end up moving this clash to Gainesville, Georgia, which is a nearby city near Atlanta. The main event for this clash was the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who's the WCW champion, taking on Scott Steiner. And I've heard a lot of things about this match, that during this match the Nature Boy went out of his way to make Scott Steiner look weak, or that he wasn't main event material. Also on this clash we get Doom, who are the World Tag Team Champions, taking on Sting and Lex Luger. Also we get a main event caliber match anywhere in the country. We get an intergender arm wrestling match between the lovely Missy Hyatt and Paul E. Dangerously. Also, we get Flying Brian Pillman taking on Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker. Another main event caliber match. And also, I believe this was the Clash Dusty Rhodes made his return to WCW after spending like 2 years in the WWF. But definitely looking forward to checking out this Clash of the Champions. This next DVD here, it's Fall Brawl 97, the main event. The Four Horsemen take on the NWO inside a War Games steel cage match. And if you remember, during this time, Arn Anderson basically retired from wrestling, and the NWO basically made fun of Arn's retirement. You know, you remember Kevin Nash dressing up like Arn Anderson. You know, I'm not giving you just my dog spot or my liver spot, but I'm giving you my spot. This was during that whole time, which I love. And of course, Kurt Hennig ended up turning on the Four Horsemen during this match. But also on this pay-per-view, we get Diamond Dallas Page teaming up with Lex Luger to take on Scott Hall and the Macho Man. The Giant takes on Scott Flash Norton. The Faces of Fear take on Mortis and Wrath. Also, we get Alex Wright taking on the Ultimo Dragon for the WCW television title. Harlem Heat take on the Steiner Brothers. For the Cruiserweight title, we get Cruiserweight champion Chris Jericho, way before he was Y2J, taking on the late, great Eddie Guerrero. Looking forward to watching Fall Brawl 97. Alright, you guys, this next DVD right here, it's Starrcade 96. This is a classic show right here. The main event, Hogan and Piper, the match of the century. I was definitely a big fan of WCW and the NWO during this time. If you remember, Piper had returned to WCW right at the end of Halloween Havoc 96. And of course, Piper and Hogan would feud for nearly a year during this time. And of course, the NWO was running things in WCW. Great time, great memories during this time. Also, we get the Giant taking on Lex Luger for the World Cruiserweight title. The champion, Dean Malenko, takes on the Ultimo Dragon. And if you remember, during this time, Ultimo Dragon had that, like, what, 8 or 9, 10 belts during this time. And I believe the Ultimo Dragon ends up picking up the Cruiserweight title during this pay-per-view, I believe. Also, Medusa's taking on Akira Hokuto for the WCW World's title. Rey Mysterio Jr. takes on Jushin Thunder Liger. I've actually seen this match before. The Outsiders, Hall and Nash, defend the title, or the tag titles, against the Faces of Fear. Definitely looking forward to watching Starrcade 96. And this final DVD we have right here, it's a classic. Spring Stampede 1998, the main event. The WCW World Champion Sting taking on the Macho Man Randy Savage. And it was during this time the NWO was basically starting to split in two. It was right when the NWO Wolfpack was about to start. You know, I was a big fan during this time, of course. And the Macho Man ends up picking up the title during this match, thanks to the help of Kevin Nash. And of course, the next night on Nitro, the Macho Man would lose the WCW title to Hulk Hogan, and the whole NWO Hollywood and NWO Wolfpack war had begun. Classic memories. But also on this Spring Stampede, we get Diamond Dallas Page taking on Raven in a Ravens rules match for the WCW US title. In a baseball bat on a pole match, we get the Giant and Rowdy Roddy Piper taking on Kevin Nash and Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Buff Bagwell and Scott Steiner taking on Lex Luger and Rick Steiner. Also, we get Kurt Hennig taking on the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. R.I.P. to those two legends. Also, we get Chris Jericho taking on Prince Ikea for the World's Cruiserweight Championship. This was right when Chris Jericho had turned heel. Also, we get television champion Booker T taking on Chris Benoit. And the battle for Chavo's freedom, we get Ultimo Dragon taking on Chavo Guerrero Jr. with Eddie Guerrero. Because if you remember, this is during that time when Eddie Guerrero had kind of took Chavo up under his wing, and Chavo was wearing that shirt saying Eddie Guerrero was his favorite wrestler. Fun time in wrestling. Also, we get Goldberg taking on Perry Saturn. But definitely looking forward to checking out Spring Stampede 98. But guys, as you can tell, I know what I'm going to be watching for the next couple of days. But guys, thanks so much for watching. Shout out to my boy Brian Vaughn. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel in the description box below. Also, I'll put a link to my Twitter and my Instagram, so go follow me on those sites. And guys, I plan on doing my Q&A video here real soon, so send those questions to my upcoming Q&A video. Just look back here on my channel for my Ask Me Questions video and send those questions there. But guys, I'm Jammin' Music Man. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.